Thank you very much, Gene. So Gene was a lab mate of myself and Peter Bernstein back in the day, so great to see you again, Gene. So next up is Matt Schleit. Matt? Matt? Oh, he left. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I didn't know. Okay. So we're going next to Peter Bernstein, next on the list. Okay. Other lab mate, yeah. You dropped your tag.
I'll start with a Stork story and the reminiscence of like the car. And if there's a few seconds, I'll go on to the people impact. I remember one day that Gilbert went flying down the hall. He was very, very excited. This is not a surprise. Gilbert was excited about a lot of things. But a few hours later, he showed back up in our lab, and he had a sack of gold coins in his hand. And what was going on here? And what he did is he got a graduated cylinder and he filled it with water, he put the coins in, he wanted to check their density. And after the density proved that they were right, then he took one of the coins out and he started scraping, and he made these scrapings, and he tried working with lots of different acids, kind of increasing the strength of the acid, until he finally got to aqua regia and it dissolved. And he said, wow, these are real. So then he said, and thanks to Tony Kreft, who was also in the group at the time, I was trying to remember when this happened, and he remembered Gilbert being upset about the gold coins, but not having actually gotten them yet. And I remember him getting them and doing this test, so it was somewhere between late 76 and late 77. And Gilbert came and said, well, what happened is when tetrahedron letters were started in 1959, Robert Maxwell made me a bet. And the bet was that if the paid circulation was above a certain level, 1 year, 2 years after they launched it, he would give me 50 gold guineas. And it's like, what? And he actually had Volume 1, Issue 1 of Tet Letters, and on the inside of the cover was this bet. And it was co-signed by Sir Robert Robertson and Robert Woodward and Maxwell and I think E.J. Corey. And so Woodward and Robertson were the people who started, the first editors. And Sir Derek. Well, this was the bet. I'm Gary. All right, sorry. I have down that it was Corey, Gilbert, Woodward, and Sir Robert Robertson were the people on the bet.
Robinson. Yeah.
Robinson. Sir Robert Robinson. Right. Were the people on the bet. Ayako, you don't know this one, or you don't?
I have a copy of it.
Oh, you have a copy! True. All right, good. Very right. So what? All right, 100 coins. All right, 100 coins. All right. So the thing was, it was supposed to be 100 gold guineas. The problem was, is gold guineas didn't exist anymore. And the problem also was that the year that this was done, which was 1959, was a lot earlier than when I was there, which was in the mid-1970s. So what happened is the bet was won. Maxwell paid off everybody except Gilbert. And Gilbert said he didn't pay me off because he said he expected everybody to do something. The other professors they did like, you want to get your degree, you want to get a job, whatever. All of a sudden, the sales of Tet Letters went up. And Gilbert didn't do any of that. You've heard what he was like. So at the end of the year, Maxwell said, you didn't do anything. I'm not giving you any money. And Stork said, it doesn't say that in the bet. And this went on for more than a decade. And apparently, out of the blue, this is in 1977, he gets this note, there's 100 coins waiting for you at some British bank, maybe Barclays or something. So he goes down there, and it's 100 sovereigns, not 100 guineas. A guinea was a pound and a shilling. A sovereign was a pound. but he couldn't get them anymore, so Gilbert said, oh, I'll take the sovereigns. And, so he didn't believe that Robert was actually going to pay him off. Now, some of you were there at the time. Some of you don't know what Maxwell started Pergamon Press. He was very flamboyant. At the end of, Gilbert was obviously knew more about Maxwell than the rest of us. Because after Maxwell died, very suspiciously, he was found floating off of his yacht. And nobody knew whether it was a suicide or a murder, but within a few days they discovered he had plundered the entire Mirror pension plan and a few other things. So every company he had worked with was sort of missing millions and millions and millions of dollars. And this is sometime after, but you could see Gilbert knew what was going on. And and so all of a sudden it all made sense. So he was afraid that Maxwell was going to, he really didn't believe it was going to happen. And then he had his stuff. And on the people side, I'll just say, it was phenomenal. When I was in the lab, Paul Wender was there. He was great. Clark was there. I shared a lab with Bill. So George Krauss was in our lab too. To me, it was just absolutely amazing. Not only the guidance from Gilbert, the atmosphere in Columbia, which was really absolutely amazing, but everything I learned also from the people I shared with. And thank you all.